Safri 10 Talk. Technology is a superhero who lost his keys and forgot the password. I am Paula Barnard Ashton, a superhero sidekick. You know, the Robin, or I mean Oracle, to Batman. Just there to make sure that the real superhero swoops in and saves the day and looks good doing it. I was among the first to graduate as an occupational therapist into a free and democratic post-apartheid South Africa, seeing the birth of the Rainbow Nation as I entered the world of work, complete with a pot of gold at the other end. I later found out that that was reserved for the Zipters. My mother was a primary school maths and science teacher who reinvented herself as a computer science teacher, thus creating the foundation for my technology development. After a stint as a pediatric occupational therapist, I entered the world of academia and quickly became the go-to person to help attach a document to an email or hit Control-Alt-Delete when the computer hung. Remember, this was back when technology in teaching was using an overhead projector. I managed to dig out this tech development, color photocopying onto a transparency to effectively describe the workings of the middle and inner ear. Naively, I considered myself an education superhero back then, but we all grow up, so let's get back to being a sidekick. A few years later, I went back into private practice to ensure that what I was teaching was still relevant. And then life hit. I was diagnosed with ankylosing spondylitis and not able to work for over a year. So why is that relevant? Well, during this time, my husband and I set up a small online publishing company, and I started a remedial and special education website in 2006. Sounds easy enough to manage from home? Maybe today, when everybody curates and creates online content in a way that is meaningful to them. But this was even before I had a Facebook profile. Brand management, copy editing, graphic design, sales, proposal writing, payroll, a steep learning curve. But the biggest learning curve was understanding the potential of the World Wide Web. This was my springboard into Gotham City, or the South African higher education system as we more commonly call it. A landscape characterized as medium knowledge producing by world ranking structures with a low participation and high attrition student body. So why Oracle? Well, she used to be Batgirl. Being shot by the Joker left her paralyzed, sparking her to reinvent herself to emerge as Oracle, a super intelligent, badass, white hat hacker and information broker to Batman, Birds of Prey, Suicide Squad, and the Justice League. Clearly, I could relate. And of course, through advances in health sciences in South Africa, Oracle had life-changing spinal surgery with rehabilitation, allowing her to return to her role as Batgirl. But we all know that Gotham City is a magnet for supervillains. Every superhero needs some supervillains to battle. Our Joker is the global massification of higher education since World War II, with local digital apartheid masquerading as Harley Quinn. Massification is the global trend of increasing the number of students who participate in higher education through improved access and affordability. The assumption is that an educated population builds the economy and drives globalization. Our Gotham City of a higher education system was handed over to the post-apartheid government, shattered and scattered. Since 1997, the transformation agenda intended to unify and rebuild, thus initiating the massification thrust. The Higher Education Act 101 enforced control through implementing a managerialism approach to higher education, where all public and private sector universities conformed to the same hierarchy and reporting structures. But massification seems to play the role of Joker, always scheming to rule, even if destruction of Gotham City is the way to the throne. In 20 years, our Gotham City participation rates have improved by about 5%, to a rate of 19% of South Africans aged 20 to 24 years old being enrolled in some form of higher education. But the Joker starts to laugh when our throughput rates to graduation are considered. At WITS, we have a 60% African student body, which looks good from a transformation perspective. Yet each year, a lower percent of African and colored students pass their courses, with almost all white students succeeding. Class sizes increase with repeating students, The financial burden plagues them, erupting in the fees must fall movement. Academic and support staff numbers are plateaued. Do more with less, and don't forget to publish. Enter Harlequin, South Africa's well-established digital apartheid that discriminates somewhat psychotically at random across the three dimensions. Digital apartheid is the degree to which students experience barriers to engaging in digital activity, which places the student at a learning and achievement disadvantage when compared to peers who have digital affordances supporting their learning. It is not a matter of race nor wealth. The barrier may be simple geography, socioeconomic context, language, social capital, or education background. In the material dimension, we have the highest cost of data being imposed on those who can least afford it, with limited access to fiber and prepaid data among the most expensive on the African continent. In the skills dimension, if you live in a community with limited social capital in respect of digital skills, then who do you go to for help or to learn more about digital skills? In the virtual dimension, the unseen algorithms that lurk in the background control what you see and what gets lost in the majority English westernized content of the internet. When supervillains start taking over Gotham City, we launch the bat signal and technology comes to the rescue. The reports out of the Council for Higher Education and the white paper on e-education see technology as the superhero Batman who will fly in and save the day. But where the bleep are the keys to the Batmobile? And can someone please tell me the password to get into the Batcave? All the tech tools are sitting there, but how do we get them and how do we use them? Let's get back to the sidekick. Because hey, Batman is nothing without Oracle, and she has a few successes under her belt that helps hack the Batcave password and geolocates the Batmobile keys. She put a tracker on them ages ago. Our keys to blended learning in the WITS occupational therapy curriculum were 5 drivers of change. It takes a team. Buy-in was one of the key drivers of change that built collaboration, and the lecturers trusted the goodness of fit that I could be the oracle linking Batman to his sidekick crew. The Theory of Connectivism by George Siemens and 21st Century Learning Design provided Oracle with the evidence base needed. We had Alfred-like support from our faculty IT unit, our head of school, and financially through the Department of Higher Education and Training grant. With a touch of Catwoman motivation, we learned to just do it. Things went wrong at times, but we always made a plan and learned how to do it better next time. And the students were primed with a Robin-like tenacity to participate and get close to Batman's action. My Safri project sent Batman into rural clinical fieldwork placements where students took mobile tablet devices with prepaid data to ensure that they had access to their virtual learning environments and the supervision of the university-bound occupational therapy lecturers. We compared the students' self-evaluation of their performance on the learning objectives related to all fieldwork placements at the start of the year, and then again after all students had completed the full rotation cycle. A control group did not have the benefit of mobile tablets during their rural fieldwork, but they did during the urban fieldwork, and this counts towards the same course code. The effect size of the students' average gain in self-reported performance was analyzed. The baseline effect size was established with the control group's other learning objectives, rural learning objectives, and the experimental group's other learning objectives. A baseline of between 1.10 and 1.36 was established. The experimental group's rural learning objectives show a much larger effect size of 2.02. This indicates that we've possibly made some strides at combating Harley Quinn's digital apartheid for the students on the rural fieldwork. Of concern, however, is the control group's rural learning objectives, as they are similar to the other learning objectives and not below, which raises the question, is digital apartheid lurking across all fieldwork placements, with students not having access to hospital networks and limited personal data and devices, which they would need in order to access information on the spot? So we are now investigating strategies to improve access across all clinical placements. So what is the password to integrating blended learning into the undergraduate occupational therapy curriculum? Success. The bat signal is used more and more with each success, as lecturers and students believe that Batman will be there with his sidekicks to make a difference in the Gotham City of South African higher education.